Hey there everyone, this is Mystic Fish and welcome to episode 12 of our Factorio series where we are designing some self-building mining ships. Last episode we took a look at an updated and horizontally laid out version of oil processing, which we did here. And this episode what I'm going to work on is an update for smelting. So one of the things that I want to fix while we're at it is that right now we can't actually, even though we've produced speed modules for all of these furnaces, we can't actually, when we're making iron plates, make use of all of them. And that's because right now we're only getting a half belt of iron ore out, which is 7.5 per second. These furnaces can collectively smelt 10.5 per second, so that means the last few are idle. We are able to use them all when we're making steel, but when we're making copper plates or iron plates, we can't use them all. So that's also one of the things I want to fix while we're at it, in addition to just being able to move this stuff off hub here. And turn it horizontal. So that's what we're going to be working on today. So let's get this stuff out of the way. I guess that's one way to do that. And we can fix these. Get this. Okay. Now, if we take a look at the oil processing, right, this is where the plastic is coming in and it's going to run up the side here. And this is the beginning of our, hey, make stuff that gets put back into the hub eventually. So we can assume, I'm going to just assume that this module is going to be further north, closer to the hub than the last one. So let's see, we're gonna need to grab some of this stuff. So let's just grab some of this and we can figure out where we want to put all of this. I think not all of this will go up here. I don't know. How do I want to do this? Well, one thing is I think I need this to go this way. Is that right? I don't think that's right. That's not right. I think I want it to go this way. For reasons that I think will become apparent later. Okay, let's just put this here for right now. I'm going to get rid of this stuff here. All right, let's get this out of the way. So there are some updates that I want to make here. So I think what I want to do is, so these down here are the ones that might have to potentially do steel. But these will only ever do copper or iron plates. And I think one of the things that we just looked at was that if the ore is going to come in this way down to these guys, I think I basically want to change things up so that I'm going to allow for a full belt of ore to come through here. And I'm going to decide somewhere over here which ore I'm going to send down here. But then basically these furnaces just need to smelt whatever ore comes to them. And then we just need to make sure that if we're making steel, or if we have sort of some iron plates stuck in the middle of these, that we continue sending iron ore until they get unstuck. So I think that's going to be what we're going to do here. I think I don't need these. And I think I can get rid of that. And I'm going to get rid of that. I guess if I cut these, it doesn't leave holes in my platform. Okay. Right, so I think what I just said was I want these to basically just pull the ore in and not even look at what ore it is. So we'll have to be smarter about it elsewhere. I think these inserters still need to have set filter on them. And so let's see. I think I'm going to do this. Up here. So what I want to do is, if this is the output belt, I'm going to bring this up this way, bring it through, and we'll just like plug it in here. Something like that. I think that will be okay. We need to hop this stuff over, and we need to get the undergrounds facing the right way. Okay. I think that looks good. Next we need to get crushers to make the ore. So, according to my calculations, in order to produce enough ore on a steady state basis to keep these busy, it's going to depend on what we're making. If we're making copper, we're going to need 7 crushers doing the advanced recipe. If we're just making iron plates, we just need 1 crusher doing the basic recipe. But I think in either case, what we want is we're going to have a belt that comes this way. And then let's figure out what this is going to look like. We want the crushers to be able to put stuff out on both sides of the belt. So I think I want to come down here, and we could do something like this. And we can say, okay, you are only going to get ore out of here. Either one of those. That's good. And then this is the asteroid belt. And I think the way we want to do this is we can get asteroid chunks in, and then asteroid chunks out. I guess we can do that. And then we need to just make sure that we're only doing chunks. Even though I guess these are only ever metallic asteroids, but I don't know. I like the habit of like, these are just asteroids. It's just asteroids. And then these are going to come this way. And so we need 7 of these, I think. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then that guy can loop there. And then you'll continue here. And then you will bounce down there. And you will go that way. That's the plastic belt. Okay. Right. Now, what are we going to do up here? So, I think what we want is something like this. Let's split this off and just say, okay, I'm going to send the copper ore down one belt and the iron ore down a different belt. And I can have these belts as kind of a buffer. And then what I'll do is I'll control these belts to determine what ore I want to send down to be smelted. Right. I think that's basically it. That is the whole deal. Okay. So now there is a possibility that if we are just getting copper ore, we may be generating excess iron ore, and we have to like get rid of it somehow. So if this is the iron ore belt, I think what we want to do is we need to hop over this and hop over this. And we're going to put a splitter in there, but we're going to say output priority left. So that means by default, all right, so all the iron ore will come to this side. Then by default, and it's a little hard to see, but we're going to send output priority here. So by default, we're going to like buffer the iron ore in here. But just in case we get too much, we're going to have a way to shed the excess so it doesn't back up. So we may pitch excess iron ore overboard by doing that. I guess these are going to go down in this area. And I guess that means we'll do this. Okay, now. I believe we want to get efficiency modules in here. Crushers take a lot of, you can see they take a lot of power, but if we can like take the edge off with a couple of efficiency modules, that will help. And let's see. So the question is, how much do we want to have buffered here of these things? My thinking is that we want to, we just want to look at all of these belts. So we're going to say hold all belts for these. So that gives us these three. This belt, and this belt. And I think we only want to crush stuff. Well, let's see. I guess we know that, well, actually, let's do this. So I'm gonna take this one off. So I think what we want to say is that, so this part of do we want to crush stuff is all about what do we have buffered here in terms of ore, and nothing about which ore do we want to be smelting. I think that's the way we want to think about it. And so I think that means that we can just connect all of these and just activate them if we're short on copper. So let's see. So there are 9 belts here. Let's just assume 8 for purposes of, maybe we don't see everything right away. Let's just do 6. That's fine. Each belt segment can hold 8 ore. So these 7 segments could hold 56 copper ore. So I think as long as there's less than 56 copper ore on this belt or on its way to that belt, these guys can be active. So I think we want this to be, you are just plain active if we have less than 56 ore. Okay, good. Now this one needs to do recipe switching. So that means that what we want is we're going to have this recipe be 1, that's fine, and this recipe be 2, that's fine. All right, so all right, we're gonna switch this, and we're gonna make sure only one of these recipes can be active at a time. And since this is actually fine, since these are always only ever metallic asteroids that get picked up, switching between these two doesn't cause us to eject the inputs. So this will be okay. So we'll do that, but we will want to take a look at this green here. So we're going to say if the recipe equals 1 and it's the same deal, right? Less than 56 copper, then we're going to output, I guess we can just say 1 for that. And then we're just going to feed this in, and we're going to use this to set recipe. Okay, then the other scenario is, or what's the other one? The other one is that it's 2, and we do have enough copper, so that makes sure that not both of these are active at the same time, because these are 2 mutually exclusive conditions. Okay, how much space do we have here for, we said we left 2, right? So this is 6. So 6 times 8 is 48, so we'll do 48. And iron less than, well, do we want 48? That's actually not, I think, what we want. Actually, I don't think it's 56 over here either. So what we really want is if all these guys are active, we have 7 active, that's going to produce 28. So it's actually, if there's 56 minus 28, which is also 28. So that's actually it's actually 28, because that means we have 28 worth of room on the belts. So that's actually what we want. Okay, good. And then this one produces 20, but we only have 1 of them. So as long as there is room for 20 on the belt, I think we're okay. And so that should be, and I guess we can also do this, right? Because do I want to do that? I don't think I want to do that. I'll just do that. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna stop. Okay, so then if I've got room for 48, then this is less than 28. Because I'm going to put 20 on the belt, and then it should be okay. All right, I think that's what we want. So now the question is, now we need to activate. We need to activate this. So how do we want to do this? I think we're going to do it this way. We're going to assume that demand, our demand is coming in from the hub or somewhere from up top. We'll assume we connect to it there. These will be the two options, right? The two options are going to be copper ore or iron ore. All right, and then okay, so and then we need one more of these. All right, so so we're going to have the demand coming into this one. No, that's not what I want. I want it coming into this one. And here, I'm going to switch these. Okay. Right, so what I actually want though is, so the red wire here is just controlling this inserter, right? If I need to add extra iron to sort of unsteelify myself. But we need these connected with a green, we need the outputs connected via the green wire to come in here. And then we also want to do that here. Can that reach? Okay, good. Right. The problem is I got green wires here and I got green wires coming for the demand and I don't actually want those mixed. But I guess it's okay, right? Because we can just say, if anybody needs sort of like extra iron, then I'm going to pass it along as iron. And that's fine. But in fact, actually what I'll do is I'm going to make this a 3. Aha. That way I get a 1, a 2, and a 3 on the red wire. Nope, red wire. Okay, good. All right. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to say output each. Oh no. Incoming each equals 1. Then output each. Okay. So if it's 1, then we're talking about saying when do we want iron ore? And so we want iron ore to come onto this belt if either the native demand for the hub says we want iron plates up at the hub. I do want to do that. Or and that. Or I also want iron ore to come through if the hub wants steel. And I think we're going to prioritize that we say, and the hub does not need copper. So I think the priorities are going to be iron plates, copper plates, then steel plate. I think having a strict priority will keep us from being confused here. Or we also want iron ore. This is also 1. We also want iron ore if the red wire has iron plates equal to 3, which means that we got some iron guy that needs to get more plates in. Then we still want iron ore. I think that is correct. Okay, so then we need to make sure that we have mutual exclusion here. So when do we want copper ore to be passed through? Well, that is definitely only if the hub needs copper and the hub does not need a green wire. Green does not need iron. That's okay. And the red wire iron is less than 3. Right? So we can only send it, we only want to put copper through if we don't need to make iron plates, and we don't need iron plates to like unsteelify any of these furnaces. I think that's what we want. And then from here, these will control these two guys. Okay, so this one is going to be enabled if copper ore greater than 0. And this guy is going to be enabled if iron ore greater than 0. Okay, so that will allow one or the other of these belts to pass through the splitter and come onto this belt where stuff will get smelted here. Okay. Wow. Okay, so these filters are already covering those. So then I think the only other thing that we need is we need to also set filters on these guys down here, which we had already done. We'd already done somewhere. I guess I can go copy them, right? Yeah, it's this. I think that's these two things, right? I think that's those two things. All right, so that's that. And that's that. That needs to be red. And this is the thing that comes in from the hub, which can also go there. Okay, so that is saying, right, when do we want copper? That's right. I think this is all right. Okay, good. And then the red is the furnace specific filter, so that means the green sets the filter on all of them. Okay. Wow, that's a lot. That's like a lot of stuff there. All right, and then what else? I guess we want some solar panelage in here somewhere. We'll just get some of them in there. That's probably not enough. And then let's see. I guess it would be good to get. I guess it would be good to get some turrets in here. How far does this extend? That extends down. Do I want to go here? That's a little more central. All right, so we'll just stick this guy there. And for symmetry, we'll put this guy here. That means you're the ammo belt. And you're the ammo belt. And so you're going to get these guys. Oh, copy. Okay. Wow. All right. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. But, you know, is this as compact as it could be? Probably not, but, you know, it's understandable. what's going on, and I think it's maintainable. And scaling this is going to require rearranging it anyway. You know, we have to redo this if we want to do any stuff with beacons at some point. So, you know, we'll leave that as a problem for future Mystic Fish. So I think we're going to just say, all right, this is our smelting module, and fine. We're just going to do that one, and we're going to stick that there. Okay. We are getting there. So I think we have now taken care of most of the stuff that's down here, down below the hub. I think we've taken care of almost all of this stuff. We are going to have to revisit sort of like hooking all this stuff up. But what I want to do next episode, and we'll see how long it takes. I think this will be pretty quick. We need to revisit what the front is going to look like up here, and potentially build in some facilities for asteroid reprocessing, just to keep things in balance. But those are definitely going to be problems for future Mystic Fish. So we're getting there. Slowly but surely. But that's what we have for today. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, bye.